Most of the times I have noticed that people are more engrossed into entertainment channels. If you look into my number of subscribers, they are very less. If you look at the number of viewers in my channel, they are also very less. But had I been dancing, if I produced a pet dog, if I played with a little kid, a toddler, it would have jumped. If I have shown you how I eat, what I do, which food do I, it would have jumped manifold. Do you know why? Again, I am coming to the very analysis of the reason. Because you are seeing this kind of discussion or content is clearly indicative you are not an ordinary man. You want to grow in life. During COVID and during other crises, it has been noticed in the history of the world that people committed suicide in mass number. If you carefully look at the lives of people, our TV, our news channels, our newspapers are splashed with lot of incidents where you will find someone having become broke, his company having been bankrupt, had no other way but to take his own life. In the way, they also take the lives of their family members. Such incidents are many, and it has been noticed that crisis accelerates such kind of incidents, but it always nonetheless happens in the life of common man. Why does it happen? Because of credit. The movement of money is basically driven by the word credit. Credit means money will move to such a place where its return will be more. It will gain more profit, it will gain more interest. So, money's only way is to be given loan to someone who would pay back the principal with the interest. Now, credits are of two types. One credit is called domestic credit, consumption credit. Another credit is called business credit. Now, on the consumer credit front, you will find that people are given credit cards with the help of which you can buy, although you do not have any money right at your bank, but you can instantly buy it. This is credit card. But for the credit card, or another way is already there, which is called 0% EMI. But these are called small ticket credits. Usually credits are very less, within the range of 25,000 or 50,000 as such. So even if someone falters, it will not pain much the creditor, the loan giver, though they have their machinery to extract the money from you. But in low ticket credits such as zero finance or credit cards, collateral is not applied, not much collateral is needed. But in case of high ticket credit, for instance, you take 20 lakh loans for buying a flat, it is called home loan. In that case, there will be a collateral. Your asset, your home, your purchase, your house will be put as collateral, which means if you falter and if you cannot pay the money in due time, the loan giver, in this case the bank or the financial institution, will be free to put it on auction and take their parts from the proceeds. Rest of them will be given back to you. So this is called collateral. You must have noticed, in case of any difficulty, someone would go to put the gold ornaments on mortgage, bandhak. They would put it, they would go to some jeweler, or they would go to some financial institution who would take that gold, assess its value. For instance, if it is 100 rupees, they would give 50 rupees as loan. Now, if the person defaults, then he will take his cut from the 100 rupees worth gold and give back the rest of the amount to the defaulter. So this is called consumption loan. Our discussion today is not exactly consumption loan. Consumer loans such as credit card and 0% EMIs, see my other video, it's a trap. I discussed it in great length. Our focus is today business loan. There are another set of people who run business, and in order to run business, they require money. How do they do so? If it's a company, registered public company, the promoter, the person who runs the business, is called promoter. The promoter can dilute the stake, can dilute the share. Suppose the promoter has got 100% share. If I divide them into one share, there are 100 shares. Or he can make it lakhs and thousands of shares. He can divide it. Now he would sell this share to someone who would give him the money. One. Two, he can put his share on mortgage. He can take the money. Three, he can go to bank, he can go to some financial organization, and he can say, I shall take the loan at such and such interest, and I shall pay you back the principal along with the interest. So both the ways, consumption loan and business loan, are given on a high ticket basis through the collateral. In case you are a company owner and you are extracting money, you are raising money from the capital market for capex. Capex means capital expenditure. Suppose you have a shop, you want to make another shop, so you will require money. You cannot scale up. Scale means you cannot start increasing your profit unless you expand your business. So for the reason of expansion of business, capital infusion is necessary, so more and more money is necessary. They, in these three methods, would raise the money for themselves. But the real problem begins from here. In certain cases, it has been noticed that small time businessmen, usually called small and medium entrepreneurs, all right, SME, small, usually small entrepreneurs are within 50, 100 crores turnover range, and medium means within 1000, 20,000, 30,000, this range. These people are called medium entrepreneur. So small entrepreneur, medium entrepreneur. These people also require the money to run the business, and they would take the money in this way, the way I have just now spoken. For instance, say a small businessman, he has got 50 lakhs invested in his business. Now he wants to expand it and he requires more money. What will he do? He is so small that he has no reason to go into the stock market to create an IPO and validate it and assess its real valuation. He would simply tie up with another person and sell his partnership. This much money I shall take from you, and you will take 30% stake in my company. Stake means share. Now, if the other person who is paying him money gets 30%, so the profit will be equally divided between them. He will get 30% of the profit, 70 will stay with the promoter. So roughly, this is what actually happens. Real problem begins with small and medium entrepreneurs. What happens when their business runs well? They start taking leverage. Leverage means taking loan. Now, as you leverage more and more, what happens? You have to pay back the principal with the interest. Remember, in case of business, the leverage percentage is more for the small and medium entrepreneur. If this is a very big house, very big businessman, then he can take at a lower interest rate because his credibility in the market is already established. But for the small person, for the medium entrepreneur, it becomes very difficult for the small and medium enterprises to raise capital at a lower rate of interest. So it usually ranges between 12%, 11% kind. As a result, what happens? Unless he makes profit beyond 12%, which means unless his profit is say 15, 18%, he cannot pay back his liabilities, which is principal along with the interest on a monthly, quarterly, whatever basis has been agreed upon. So the problem begins from here. In case due to some economical reason, recessional reason, or international trade war, due to certain reason, inflationary reason, many things can play that the market can slump. The consumer demand can go down. For instance, people do not have money and they cannot buy. As a result, they would defer their purchase. As they would defer, DEFER, defer means cancel or postpone for the time being their purchase. Obviously, the sale will go down. As the sale goes down, profit also goes down. This is the reason when small and medium entrepreneurs start defaulting. As they default more and more, their loan and the liabilities go on mounting. It is like a snowball. It acquires a very bigger proportion. Then it becomes very difficult for them to maintain it. This forces them into liquidating or selling their business, or they declare themselves to be bankrupt. Now, it so happens sometimes that these business people already raise their lifestyle so high that they maintain a lifestyle far bigger than they should have afforded. For instance, his profit, suppose he has to pay back 10% interest with the capital, but he is receiving 15% from his business. Now this 15% profit is shrinking due to some reason I have just now spoken of, and it has come to 10% or 11%. So only 1 or 2% extra he is receiving as a profit. Still he can maintain and pay back the money. This is when he should stop, retrospect, and try to find out other avenues of scaling or maintaining the business. If necessary, he should shut down certain areas of business to conserve his capital, but they fail to do so. Reason one, they do not have financial advisor behind them to teach them about this, when to stop. Two, lifestyle inflation. It has been noticed when people have a lot of money, they all of a sudden raise their lifestyle. In which way? Suppose I can maintain with my Alto car. I have an Alto car, Maruti Alto car. I can maintain it. All of a sudden, I jump for Desire. As a result, another 6-7 lakhs I had to spend. This is called lifestyle inflation, which means I might have continued with what I have already had, but instead, because I started having these comfort feelings that my business is expanding, a lot of money is coming up, but I have not understood the real assessment of the money that is actually coming into my profit zone. As a result, the expenses mount on the personal side for the promoter, and after paying off everything like salary and other maintenance cost and all that, he is left with nothing. This is the exact reason why most of the small and medium entrepreneurs start defaulting. And once they start defaulting, it becomes so mammoth, so big, that they cannot actually get the money back even if they sell 100% of their stake, which means the money that they have already borrowed with interest snowballs into such a huge amount that even if he sells his present business to some other person, then again it will not be equivalent to pay it off. What do? In certain cases, credit, I have begun entire discussion with credit. The creditor, means the bank or the financial institution who has paid him the loan, who has given him the loan, would start attaching other mortgages. You will notice such kind of people would start mortgaging his personal things like ornaments, the house where he is living, it is under mortgage, which means he pledges that in case I default, you can take and sell my property. Fixed deposits, so gold is gone, ornament is gone, then house is also under mortgage, then finally his fixed deposits are also taken away. Personally, the businessman becomes so broke that he even commits suicide and kills all his family members. There are many such in news and incidents which are happening not just in India, throughout the world. It has been noticed. It is only because before taking the risk, they thought of the reward but did not assess the risk factor, which means you are taking a risk. If you fall, how much pain there is going to be, that much assessment. We call it risk reward ratio. They did not calculate it. Financial mistake. It's a mistake that they have made due to lack of sufficient advice of a financial strategist. Most of the times people fail because of their personal desire. They become so driven by desire, greed, lust and everything that they are on the rampant of buying things without assessing where his money is actually going. This ultimately leaves him into a state of absolute devastation. Now, what can we do to stop it? What are the other solutions? Whether you are a personal consumer or you are a businessman, it is always advisable to maintain a minimalist lifestyle. Minimalist lifestyle means you will only spend when it is a want, not because you are desirous of buying this. It's an extra thing, but you became so excited that you bought it, but it was not your necessity. Don't do that. So be a minimalist. It does not mean you will stop enjoying the life. You will, but you will do that after a lot of calculation whereupon you have to spend. There is a video of mine, look poor, be unpopular. Another part is most of the people try to become popular. They want to be famous among their peers, among their neighbors, relatives, friends, and they want to make a great deal of flaunt. They are ostentatious. They would show things. I have got a costly watch, I have got a costly thing and costly suit and all that. This is the reason why most of these people ultimately fall into this trap. So the most important two things: try to maintain your lifestyle according to your capacity of return, the profit that you are gaining. Two, do not be swayed by excitement and emotion that people would support you, people would say very good things about you. No, only maintain those people, be in touch with those people who would help you grow in life, financially, mentally, spiritually. So these are the few things one should always keep in mind. Most of the times I have noticed that people are more engrossed into entertainment channels. If you look into my number of subscribers, they are very less. If you look at the number of viewers in my channel, they are also very less. But had I been dancing, if I produced a pet dog, if I played with a little kid, a toddler, it would have jumped. If I have shown you how I eat, what I do, which food do I, it would have jumped manifold. Do you know why? Again, I am coming to the very analysis of the reason. Because you are seeing this kind of discussion or content is clearly indicative you are not an ordinary man. You want to grow in life, and that is why you are listening to something that would actually be helpful in your life. But most of the people, I should say about 99% people, would not come into this channel to see this. They would flip it through, they would scroll it, and they would go and visit all those things which are not going to be useful in his or her life. They would go for only entertainment. So look at this channel. If you are still listening to me, it is clearly indicative that you want to learn something and apply it in your life so that you can protect yourself and your family from disaster, and you can also grow in life. So usually these are the very important things any person, be he a crorepati, be he a lakpati, it never matters. Everyone requires financial handholding. And for that matter, people just do not know when to choke their desire, their lust, their wish, their splurge, their spending, their overspending, and they should stop themselves from walking into the abyss of loan credit. Subscribe this channel, share this video. We will meet again soon.